Alrighty. So, good morning, everyone. This is our strength and conditioning class. So, if you are in here, then you weren't dropped from the class. I have to drop about maybe I want to say about 3 or 4 students per class. Just no attendance, no check-ins. The system, I noticed that sometimes on my end, it shows that some folks that I've seen on here um don't generate or populate on my end. But I remember there's a few that have I've seen that here at the live class through Zoom, but they don't show up that there's record of them. So but yeah, but if for some reason someone else has told you that, another professor, just double check, make sure you're logging in through Canvas and not just saving the link into your browser. So make sure you log in through Canvas because again, this whole program gets funded by our attendance. So, but if you're in here, appreciate you. We'll get this class started. So let's go ahead and start with the warm up. So let me start this, like see how many calories we burn. So let's just start looking left to right here. Up and down. Next circles. Switch. Switch directions. Go ahead and bring our right hand over. Josefina, Miss Muir, Miss Wynn, Carmen, Josefina, Charisse, Olivia, Debbie, Sandra, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you had a nice Easter. Had the just stayed home yesterday. Had the eggs here at the house in the backyard. Um, but yeah, before I was used to just hiding the eggs by just laying them out on the lawn for the kids because they're little. But now they're getting a little bit too old for that, so we had to get creative with hiding them. I think we hit some too good because it took them close to an hour to find the last few. So, but it was fun. Right. Let's bring that right hand over. Yeah, everyone wanted to find the last egg, so you know, the one that found it was really happy, but those that didn't were really bummed out. So it was fun. Switch. Bring that right arm over. Drop that palm and push down on that elbow. Switch. Good, let's go with trunk rotation. So just left to right. Let's do snow angels. Try and get a good warm up before we start this workout. We have 7 supersets. One I have down, and we'll do each superset twice. So our trunk rotations. So here are up circles. Sorry. Back. So keeping that back straight, hinging at the hip. Pop back. Little big hula hoops and hip circles. Switch. Right, let's do our standing hip openers. So we're gonna drag that knee forward, out, and down. Reset. April 21st already. And then just my buddy's doing the Boston Marathon right now. So I'm getting these alerts. Might have to check. He should be finishing soon. Started at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And last time I checked, he was holding about a 6:01 mile average. So I might check my phone though. Let's do our quad stretch. So grab that a hold of your right ankle and pull back. Let me see where he's at. I have the tracker on him. Okay, oof. Glad I didn't see that earlier. He's at mile 22 and he's averaging 5:59. So he has 4 miles to go. He was trying to get under 240. So as long as he doesn't cramp up or hit the wall, because he's like in that zone of the miles 18 to 22 is when people hit the wall. So hopefully he's okay. Let's do our hamstring stretch. So slide down at the knees, bring your hands down your calves, all the way down, head down. Deep breaths. And let's bring our glutes to our heels. Let's drop your glutes. Extend. And our last one is our deep squat. Let's go ahead, drop down, hips are low. And rise. Okay, alrighty. So let's go ahead and we'll get this started. So our first superset is gonna be neutral grip shoulder presses. So dumbbells here, we're pressing up. Okay, that's gonna be our first one. And we're gonna superset that with good mornings. So good mornings is a lower back exercise. You could do them standing or sitting. If we have, yeah, we could do these sitting down. So these, we're gonna have our, you might remember these dumbbells are kind of just being held and rested on your shoulders. Separate your legs and keeping your back straight. And we're just gonna hinge down and then come up. Okay, if that's kind of awkward on the chair, you can do those standing up. So you would just hold them here, hinge, and then back is straight, and then come back up. Okay, so remember, if start off with the lighter weight, and if that seems easy enough, then on the next step, just increase your weight. Okay, very good. So let's grab those dumbbells. And the shoulder presses, you could do them sitting down as well. Okay. And we're aiming for 10 repetitions for each one. Okay, so plugging in my numbers. So we're here and give me 10. So we're gonna, that's 1, 2, you want full extension, 3, 4, inhale on your way down, exhale on your way up, inhale, exhale, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Let me start my clock over here. Okay, so it's about 20 seconds rest. So then we're doing the good mornings. Remember, you could do these sitting down or standing up. So standing, pretty much, you see them here. I'm just gonna rest them on my shoulders. Slight bend at the knees, and then I'm just gonna hinge down and then back up. Okay, so that's the motion we're looking for. Okay, and if you're sitting down, you're here sitting towards the edge, and again, it's just the same motion. Okay, so we don't want to hurt our back. So if the weights that you have right now seem a little heavy, maybe just start off with the body weight and we'll start with that stretching movement. Okay, all right, so we're aiming for 10 to 12 of these. Ready? Okay, go. So hinging, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a little break. Okay, just catch your breath. Make sure nothing feels funky. Remember, position them nicely on your shoulders. All right, let's continue. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can, you could do 2 more. 11 and 12. Very good. All right, and this is where we take our 1 minute break in between. So 1 minute break. This is also where you decide if you want to increase weight. So if you want to grab some heavier ones, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go a little heavier on the shoulder press. A couple more seconds. Remember, this you can do sitting down. The shoulder press really sitting down and standing, there's not much of a difference. The good mornings, the second move, if you're doing it incorrectly, you could really tell on the sitting down because you're gonna feel really funky. So, right. So again, give me 10 to 12 of these. Start here and begin. So exhale, inhale. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. We'll start the good mornings in 10 seconds, if that works with you. Okay, so grab those dumbbells. I like the standing ones better. I just feel like I have a little bit more range of motion. I feel like the chair restricts me a little bit. So let's go ahead and begin. So 10 to 12. Okay, go. 1. If you see my feet aren't really close together. They're about shoulder width apart. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna go for 12, 11, and 12. Right, awesome. Get that rest. Good job. Morning, Ella. I just saw you log in.
Good morning.
Morning. All right, so let me check on this marathon real quick. Just want to see where he's at. Really, he's been training for, oh, he has 2.5 miles to go. That mile, almost mile 24. I think he's gonna be happy with his time if he doesn't. We clown. I'm like, he's one of my best friends from, well, my best friend from high school. So yeah, so we're pretty tough love. So like, you better not blow up the last 2 miles, otherwise I'm gonna revoke your Godfather title to Julian. So I'm glad he's not doing that right now. So all right, our first movement is gonna be our dumbbell reverse curl. So usually you guys know our curls right here, palms are facing the camera, and we're curling. Now it's gonna be reverse. That's gonna help you with your triceps, biceps, and your forearm. So that's gonna be the first movement. We're gonna do 10 of those. And then we're gonna be doing goblet squat, uh, diagonal reverse lunge. Okay, so that's we're gonna have here, and we're gonna come over, and that's what we're gonna do for the second movement. Okay, that's gonna trigger the glutes a little bit more. All right, so grab your dumbbells. Ready? And remember, like I said with the reverse curls, try to bring your thumbs over the bar, not wrap your thumbs around it, and begin. So we're doing 10 of these. Doing good. Give me 12. Very good. And then I think the name of this one, I forgot to change it, but I think these are called curtsy lunges. So you're here, goblet, your dumbbell, and we're doing a total of 12. So we're gonna do 6 and 6, okay? So goblet style. And then you're gonna bring your right leg and bring that over and reset. So 6 and 6, okay? So total of 12. 3, 4, 5. Really feel that on the glute. 6. Actually, I might start doing this more than, oh, and there's my balance. More than my reverse lunges. 8. So yeah, this will test your balance as well. 9, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All righty. Our 1 minute rest. Take this marathon. Oh, he has less than 2 miles. Holding. Slow down a little bit. Not sure if you guys could see, but there's the map. And this is where he started. And there's the finish line there, the F. So,
Is that Boston?
yes.
Oh, great.
My best friend's doing it right now.
Wow. I've been, well, not during the marathon, but I've been there right after, and I walked the last 3 miles
Oh,
of it.
cool. Yeah, I really wanted to make it out there, but we have our conference championships that start tomorrow. And I think it'd be really selfish of me to go across the country and then I have my 20 teenagers freaking out the day before their race when the coach isn't here. So, but yeah, but we're gonna go back to the reverse curls, but he's about 2 miles away from the finish line. His best is 2:28, which is about 5 minutes and 36 seconds per mile for the whole marathon. So, all right, here we go. All right, 12. 1, 2. I don't think I would ever do a marathon. I just, so long. I've done 2 or 3 half marathons, but and the training for those wasn't too aggressive. It was pretty casual, but I feel like for a marathon, Um, I would want to get a decent time, and yeah, I don't know if I'm willing to put in the work for that long of a race. We do two more, last count. 9. Has anyone done a marathon before or a half marathon?
I did a 5K.
There you go. Yeah, I know those. Yeah, those are fun. We'll go back to the curtsy reverse lunge right now. So, how do you guys like those? Does anyone not like them?
I
We go.
like them. It's really cool.
All right, cool. Here we go. So let's go reverse. Bring them across. Yeah, so when it goes, I feel it like right here on the side. And right here on this glute. So for Jane, let's go for 8 this time. Okay, we did 6 and 6 last time. Let's go for 8 and 8. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Oof. Yeah, definitely working the glutes on that one. That one was 16 total. Alrighty. So we have our 1.5-minute break. Okay, our next one, we're gonna be on the floor, okay? So we have sit-ups, variations of sit-ups, and we also have some leg abductions for our Jane Fondas, all right? So go ahead and lay out your yoga mat. We have about a little bit over a minute. Yep, pull them out. So our first one is going to be regular sit-ups. Okay, so regular sit-ups, or let's actually go with sliding sit-ups. So hands on your lap and you're sliding your hands towards your knees. Okay. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. 40 seconds. Halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay, so if you have your little resistance bands, that you could, the mini bands that you could, I don't know why I said little, but your mini bands that you could put around your ankles, go ahead and grab those. You could put them around your ankles. You're gonna be doing our Jane Fondas. If you don't have them, it's okay. If you have ankle weights, this is one where you can use your ankle weights for. So if you have them handy, we'll start shortly. He has 1 mile to go. See what he runs on that last mile. Okay. All right, if we're ready, let's go ahead and begin. Ready? Begin. So we're doing 12 on each leg. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll switch. And then again, we're gonna go with 12. All right, here we go. Ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good stuff. All right. The 12 goes. We get our 1 minute break. Okay. We have about 40 seconds rest. So this one we're gonna go, this one's gonna be opposite knees. Okay, so your right hand aims for your left knee, left hand aims for your right knee. So this is working on our obliques a little bit, okay? So from here, you could see I'm coming across. Can't really see it from that angle, but yeah, maybe from here you could. And coming over to the opposite side. And we'll start shortly. You have 10 seconds. All right, ready, begin. Halfway there. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. I wonder if they're live streaming the finish line. That'd be cool to see. Let me see. Let me just check real quick. So we have our 2 minute rest right now.
Defensively comes into play.
I wish ESPN did a better job of showing races. I guess it is active, but you gotta pay a subscription. So he has about a minute left before he finishes his race right now. So, all right, and then let's go with our Jane Fondas. I went to his first, I think this is his sixth marathon. I think I've been to 3 or 4 of them that he's done before. Let's go with 15 on each side. Ready, begin. Switch. I think he just finished. He just finished. 2 hours and 38 minutes. But it took my buddy just now. He got 639th place out of 29,000 people. Not bad. Pretty good. All right. Folks, going on to our fourth superset now. Here. All right, so our next one is gonna be inchworms. So I think I had someone, not sure if it was in this class or not, but we could do 2 variations of inchworms, okay? So you could do inchworms where you crawl out and then come back up. Or you can do the reverse where you come down here and then step back and then come back up, okay? So the first one where you crawl out is a little bit more challenging, puts a little bit more stress on your upper body. And then if you come down and come back out, that's gonna be slightly easier, not so much stress on your arms, okay? And then we're gonna superset that with tricep kickbacks. So supported here, elbow here, and extending at the elbow, okay? We're doing those 2. So we're doing 10 inchworms and then 10 kickbacks on each arm. All right, so we'll start with the inchworms. Ready, begin. So remember, there's 2 variations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Took my breath away on those. Very good. Let's get ready for the tricep kickbacks. How's everyone doing? Okay. Probably a little out of breath, maybe. Some of these movements won't take your breath away, but inchworms should. Okay. All right, let's go with the tricep kickbacks. Remember, give me 10 to 12 on each arm. So this arm is supporting my torso. Elbows here and extend. 1. I like your thumbs up, Josefina, the whole screen. Good thumbs up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're gonna switch. Okay, so elbows up here and extend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Awesome. All right, 50 seconds rest. And then we're gonna go back to our inchworms, okay? 50 seconds rest. I don't know if I mentioned, but usually my my wife cooks chicken or ground beef. We used to do steaks too, but that just got kind of ridiculous with inflation. But yeah, so she recently started doing this chili with the ground beef, and I can't stop eating that stuff. It's so good. So here we go with our inchworms. Sorry, I started talking about food when I'm tired. Here we go. All right, 10 inchworms. Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9. And 10. Good stuff. 20 seconds rest. Good job, everyone. High fives. All right, let's go. 10 on each arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. Okay. Good stuff. 1-minute break. Okay, so this one, we're gonna do our underhand front raises. So that's with the dumbbells here. I'm gonna bring them up and then down. Okay, you're gonna do those. And then we're also gonna do our Romanian deadlifts, which is with their dumbbells, slight bend at the knees, down and up. So we're gonna do 15 of those, or if you want to challenge yourself, you could do more single. And single, you could hover, you're gonna be on 1 foot. Yeah, on 1 foot, and you could have your chair and just kind of lightly hold onto it, but you're gonna be going down and up. And that's gonna be 8 and 8 if you opt to do that one. That one's gonna challenge you a little bit more because of balance. Okay, so kind of pick what you want to do on that one. All right, here we go. Dumbbell underhand front raise. We're doing 10. We're here. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next one's gonna be the Romanian deadlifts. Remember, if your both feet are floored, you're gonna do 15. If you're doing singles, then it's 8 and 8. Okay, you could use the chair for assistance. 3, 2, 1, go. So I just usually hold the dumbbell like this. Down. 1. I'm doing the single leg, so I'm gonna do 8 and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right, I'm gonna switch. Ready, go. Or if you're doing 15, then just continue with those. Mm. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With 50 seconds rest. And we'll go back to the dumbbell underhand. Okay. Take a quick water break. I'm gonna run inside real quick. We'll start in about 50 seconds. To the front raises. We're here. And begin. 1. Let's go for 12 this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm gonna roll right into the single leg Romanian deadlifts. And then dumbbell. Remember, you could be on one leg. Ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and switch. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. What do we have left? Okay. Next one's not too. Okay, yeah. Next one, we are on. The last one, we're on the floor, but this next one is gonna be our poliquin. So this one. Well, actually, this is a 6-weight shoulder. So this one, we're gonna go up, here, up, down, back. So that's one. Okay, we're doing 6 of those. And then we're gonna superset that with our chair box squats. Okay, that's the balance one we always do. Ready? So follow along. So we're doing 6 of these. So lateral, inside, up, inside, lateral, down. Okay, that's one movement. It's long. Okay, again, here, 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 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6. It goes down. Let's go to our chair. Okay. So let's try to challenge ourselves. So if we can go with one leg, let's do it. And if we could use our dumbbells, or even if it's your lighter ones, go ahead and grab those too. So we're gonna do 8 on each leg. So let's extend that right leg. You can tuck it in a little bit for more support, but extend. Dumbbells are here at your side, and we're doing 8. Ready? Begin. So that's 1. Careful with your chair. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, rest about 20 seconds. How's that? Everyone's okay so far? We're gonna extend that left leg now. Okay, ready? Begin. 8 on that other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. All right, 1 minute rest. Good job. The water. Here. Ready? With our 6-way delts. Okay, here we go. Okay, here, here. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Good stuff. We'll go a little heavier on the single leg box squats. Okay, and increase that weight. Fire on seeing good. All right. There we go. So right leg is extended and we're doing 8 per leg. Ready? Go. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And switch. Again. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. All right. Almost there. Here you go. So our last set, we're gonna be on the floor. And this is gonna be, we're gonna do push-ups. So you could do modified push-ups. We're doing 10. This is our last set. And then we're also gonna do glute bridges, okay? The glute bridges, we're bringing, gonna be like a sit-up position, but we bring our glutes to the sky and we squeeze, okay? So we're ready, 10 push-ups, we're doing modified push-ups. Ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. We get on our back. And we're gonna do our glute bridges here. Remember, sit-up position. And for these, hips off the sky or off the ground, squeeze the glutes and then back down. Okay, ready? Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. 1-minute break. And we're going into our last set of push-ups and glute bridges. Got it, everyone. Ready? All right, here we go. 10. Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, on our backs. Here we go. Ready? 10 glute bridges. 3, 2, 1. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. All right, let's grab our chair and pull down from the chair for a little bit, and then we'll be on our way. Down, folks. Go ahead and do our cool down. Okay, so just gonna go ahead and rotate, grab the backrest of my chair, slight pull. Switch. And then bring that left ankle and that right leg. The reform stretch. How's everyone doing? Let's push down gently.
Ah, doing great.
Good. You traveling much right now, Ella?
No,
No. Staying in.
not for a while.
Okay. Oh, let's bring that leg up. So, I believe we were told or asked to retain or re-enroll students into the summer, by the end of this week. So we'll be doing that. So if you're in other classes, just check in with your instructors. They might be doing the same. So, just consider, time conflicts. Because I think what I'll be doing is everyone that is on my Monday class, let's switch, will be retained to the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday classes that are the more active ones. And then the Wednesday class will be retained for the summer Wednesday and Saturday classes, which is more of like the stretching and balance classes. Let's push down. So yeah, so if there's a conflict with another class, just email me. But remember these, I know we want the most attendance, but even if you're able to attend a couple of times a semester for each class, that should suffice for credit. So let's bring that knee up. You are next. So sit on your left hand, right hand over. Switch. Sit on my right hand. Great. All right, folks, that should do it for today. Any questions before we head out? I'll end this recording.
One